You're listening to the Lift You Up podcast, a podcast dedicated to bringing HIT to your headphones. That is, happy, inspirational, informational tidbits. Lace up your sneakers and open your hearts, small mates. Let's get lifted.
Welcome back. We are on week 5, which means we have crossed the 1 month threshold of having a podcast. Today, it was 80 degrees outside. I went paddleboarding with one of my good friends from a nonprofit that I volunteer for, and we had a great time on the water. I definitely got sunburnt on my ears, which is such a random location. My hair is back in a ponytail, and I forgot to put sunscreen on my ears. So I'm going to have some bright red ears to debut to New York City when I move in tomorrow. And without further ado, I want to share some exciting information. Does anybody remember Zoboomafoo? That lemur that educates kids about animals? Well, he's a grandpa. He had a granddaughter a few years ago, and now I'm just hearing about this. How have I gone this far without knowing that Zoboomafoo is a grandpa? Also, what would he be called as a grandpa? Would he be Pops, Papa, Poppy? What would his grandpa name be? I feel like he would definitely be a Pops. He's wise. Pops is a wise grandpa. And his granddaughter, Cassia, was born on January 25th, 2021 in Aquarius to Gisela, Zoboomafoo's daughter, and Rupert at the Duke Lemur Center. And another celebrity who I would put in the same category as Zoboomafoo is Punxsutawney Phil, who became a father to twins in March of this year. The Groundhog Club Inner Circle set up name suggestion boxes around Punxsutawney, allowing visitors to drop in their ideas until May 9th. I am so sad that we missed the deadline for it because I had ideas, and the names were announced on May 12th this year at the Punxsutawney Groundhog Zoo. I know you're all dying to know what they named the babies, so drum roll please. Sunny and Shadow. So cute and so fitting, taking into account their father's legacy for sure. I know I'm sharing this exciting news too late, but what names would you have suggested for Phil's glorious babies? I honestly couldn't have come up with better ones than Sunny and Shadow, and it's too perfect.
Locker Room, a judgment-free zone where you can ask questions, share stories, or even tell us about your new lifting belt. What's said in the locker room stays in the locker room.
Aunt Jen, who was the guest in episode 4 last week, sent me a text about how Send Me On My Way is one of her favorite songs. How coincidental that that was the on-rotation song for the episode she was on. Since that episode, I've been getting so many song suggestions from people, so please send them my way, send me on my way, send that music on my way, on its way, to me. And I would love to share it in Locker Room. Thank you.
Gym buddies are people's #1 support system during their fitness journey. Here are real-life gym buddies who have gone above and beyond to help someone in their lives.
Arba Mays is a librarian and influencer from Baltimore who turned her Stoop story times into Storybook Maze. What started as reading children's books to her niece and neighbors transformed into a mission to get books into the hands of kids in book deserts in the Baltimore area. Her methodology is a free book vending machine, periodic Stoop storytime events, and pop-up bookstores. A free book vending machine sounds so fun. I would just love to just type in what book I want and then it pops up at the bottom. Through her efforts in opening pop-up bookstores, she's distributed over 7,000 books to children. A book trolley is her most ambitious project so far. With the goal of raising $100,000 on GoFundMe, she hopes to have a colorful children's train that will travel through the book deserts of Baltimore, distributing as many books as possible. She uses her social media platforms on Instagram and TikTok at Storybook Maze to advertise her projects and share her love for reading. If you'd like to support her and Storybook Maze's mission, you can donate through their Venmo at Storybook Maze.
Welcome to Beast Mode, where we shine the spotlight on those who've taken their grind to the next level, leaving behind a trail of sweat and determination.
For this Beast Mode, it was a nomination from my friend Becky, and she wants to talk about her best friend, Lacey. Lacey just started working this week as a medical assistant at a doctor's office. Every time Becky hears about Lacey's job, she's reminded of her amazing work ethic and absolute devotion to everything she does. On top of that, Lacey and Becky have recently started to go on a fitness journey of sorts. She is her #1 supporter and is holding Becky accountable while also doing the same for herself. Becky knows that she wouldn't be this dedicated if it hadn't been for Lacey's support and for her to be there along the way with her. She's a pretty awesome gal. I know Lacey as well, and she also is very cool, very driven, and a pleasure to be around. So don't gatekeep the people in your life who are killing it. Send me a DM on Instagram or an email at liftyouuppod@gmail.com to shout out who is going beast mode in your circle.
Grab your shaker bottle and shake up those pre-workout swellmates, because we're about to hit you with some serious scientific advancements. It's science.
I remember the first time I got high from running. A runner's high is a euphoric feeling induced by exercise, where you feel weightless, energized, and happy. Previous research has claimed that opioids naturally produced by the body cause the release of endorphins, creating runner's high. So most people thought runner's high came from endorphins, but a 2021 study published to the Journal for the Psychoneuroendocrinology has disproved this. Dr. Merrill, a psychiatrist and director of the Pacific Neuroscience Institute's Pacific Brain Health Center in Santa Monica, California, is saying that runner's high could be due to endocannabinoids. Endocannabinoids are biochemical substances produced in the body that are similar to THC, the psychoactive compound in marijuana. Try to say endocannabinoids 3 times fast. I bet you can't. So, want to get high naturally? Here are some guidelines to biohack your way to achieving a runner's high. The higher the intensity, the higher the chances of a high. It's suggested to do at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise at 70 to 80% of your max heart rate. Might I suggest speed intervals or running a little bit farther than normal? I did a speed interval run actually today, and I got a new 5K time with it. And I just, throughout the whole day, my body image was higher. I was a lot more confident. Working out in the morning is also another way to biohack your way. Endocannabinoids are 3 times higher when you first wake up than they are at night. And also, working out in the morning, you've already had it done. You can get it off your way, check it off your to-do list. Running to an awesome playlist is another way. Have a hype playlist with your favorite tunes, run and dance to the beat and get lost in the music. I know personally when I have a great playlist with great songs, I am powered through singing and dancing my way, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, my run's almost over. Or do the complete opposite and run without headphones, taking your surroundings and be more present and alert. All that being said, not everyone experiences runner's high, and if you do, you may inconsistently experience it. So give these tricks a try and let me know if you get a high.
Join me as I honor those who dream big and achieve bigger. This is PR, where records are made to be broken.
Donna Jean Wild, a 58-year-old retired high school principal and teacher who broke the Guinness World Record for the women's longest plank time. She held a plank for 4 hours, 30 minutes, and 11 seconds. Even more, she broke the record at her former workplace, McGrath High School in McGrath, Alberta, Canada, on March 21st, 2024. These Canadians are just better than us in so many ways. They got Justin Bieber, Ryan Reynolds, hockey, the list goes on. Maple syrup. Her 12 grandchildren watched and cheered her on. That is so sweet. What an inspiration for her grandchildren too. She broke the record by 10 minutes, beating out a fellow Canadian. And I thought Canadians were nice. She really went for blood. Her planking journey began 12 years ago after she sustained a wrist injury. She fell in love with planking once she discovered the multitasking aspect of it, such as reading a book. I don't know about you, but I am definitely not planking long enough to read a book. Maybe I could read a BuzzFeed article. Maybe, but that's pushing it. She even studied for her master's degree while planking. On the regular, she can hold a plank for 3 hours. To prepare for breaking the world record, she would plank for up to 6 hours a day. You go, Donna. I hope to reach your level of fitness someday and stay active throughout my life like you. You're truly an inspiration.
I'm ready to spot you through the hottest trends and people hitting the scene. This is Gym Crush.
There's a new hot gym that is all the rave, but you're going to have to take a plane to get there. This week's Gym Crush is the country of Italy. I am being joined by my 2 friends of mine, Noah and Paige, who studied abroad in Italy for this past semester of college. Welcome, Paige and Noah.
Hi.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having us. We're so excited.
When did you know you fell in love with Italy?
I think I fell in love with Italy probably that first week. Like, I studied in a smaller city in the middle of the country called Perugia, and I really loved it. It's a beautiful, like, medieval city. And I fell in love that first week because I went on a weekend trip to Rome, which is still in Italy, but the whole time I was just wishing to go back to Perugia. So I think that's when I knew, like, I was in love. Yeah. Noah, did you fall in love?
I think second weekend I went to Naples with, like, all 9 of my roommates. So as you can imagine, that was, like, very hectic. But the entire time I was like, can I go back to Florence now? Like, this is definitely the place to be. So definitely a similar story with like traveling makes you realize how much your study abroad's home base definitely does feel like home.
Yeah.
Home away from home. Aw.
Yeah, for sure.
Literally.
Do you have any
Yeah.
stories from your time there?
Noah, your friend?
Yes, funny, crazy stories. Like I want to say a month in, maybe. Me and my 8 roommates went to this restaurant called why am I blank? Dante's. So the gimmick with Dante's is that for students, the way they get like the allure to get you to stay there, and to go there is that they give you free wine, like unlimited bottomless wine.
Whoa.
It's not good wine, but it's like unlimited. So, and I went there and I like with my roommates and I got the carbonara pasta. I had white wine, so I had like 2 cups of that, and I was like on. I was I was gone. And then the owner we knew him because my roommates had gone there a few times. His name is Dante, but honestly, I don't think it really like. I think he just like goes by that, but it's not really his name. But he pulls me aside and has me pour the limoncello shots for my entire table. So I'm like barely walking over there and I'm pouring a bunch of shots. I overfill all of them. And then we just took a shot bottoms up. And it was actually, limoncello is good because it goes down really easily. So at that point I was like, gone. So then I went to the bathroom. I was like, well, like I couldn't really walk right. I got to the bathroom immediately. I started spewing vomit everywhere. I felt bad, but so like it was like in the toilet, so it was fine. But and then at that point I was like, I'm gonna leave. So they paid their check. I dipped. I went straight back to my apartment, which is like not even 2 minutes away from this place. And then I go take a shower to like calm myself down. Like I don't feel sick at this point. I feel like I got it all out or whatever. And then I go to sleep. But apparently during the time when I was at like in the shower, my roommates who were also drunk as hell, they stole a stop sign from down the street, dragged it up the stairs up to my apartment into my apartment. And then during this time period, my our neighbor who didn't really like recorded the whole video of 3 of my roommates holding this stop sign. So I was just like, that's crazy. So this has happened while I was in the shower, and then they had all left by the time I was done. And so I'm going to sleep. I get a knock on the door. It's the police. So they're knocking for at least good 10 minutes, and I just didn't want to answer. I was like, I don't know nothing about the police, like not in Italy. But and then they wouldn't leave. They kept knocking and buzzing the doorbell. So then I got up. And there's 3 other people there with me, but they just didn't get up. And then I go there, I'm open the door, like already like super drunk. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on at this point. And there's 2 guys there, and then my neighbor. The neighbor is translating Italian and English to these people. And he's like, can you get your roommate who stole the stop sign here? Like, if we get him here right now to put it back, like, it has to be him. Like, call him now. You're not in trouble, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, you guys talking about? And he shows me a video of them, like, clearly stealing a stop sign. And I was like, okay, dang. I'm really talking to this right now. So then I'm blowing up the group chat, like, mad. I was like, get your here right now, like, blah, blah, blah. And they're at the club, right, which is, like, 15-minute walk from here. The guy gets here, and he's assuring us, like, oh, you're not in trouble. And during that time period, he takes a picture of my passport, scans it, and then it has me put my information into like a tablet or whatever. And then same thing with my roommate. And I'm like, okay, like he really just has me on like the system. Like I guess Italy has all my information now. And they're like, oh, you're good now, but like we just want to make sure you put it back because you're disrupting like the roadways or whatever. So then we think we're fine, right? And then a few days later, the school calls us in for like a meeting. They're like, you're in trouble. I mean, it was a very serious offense. Like, why are you stealing a stop sign in Italy? That's something you do on campus because, like, they don't care. Like, and frats have that in their basement, like, whatever. Anyway, so we get into the meeting, and they're like, you guys are all in trouble for, you're getting a written warning for noise complaints. And we're all like, what are you talking about? Because at this point, we hadn't even heard anything about noise complaints. Apparently, he was in contact with the school, but we just weren't made aware of it. So then I'm just pissed off. I'm like, y'all done messed up. Everyone who was not involved in, like, touching the sign got an email later saying we just getting a verbal warning, and that was it. But like any more like 2 more offenses, and then we're cut.
Wow.
But the people who stole the stop sign, like supposedly they could have gone to jail and paid like a $1,200 fine or whatever, but they didn't have to. But they're like on like their last strike. They did not play. So like it was just crazy. That's what happened.
That is so crazy to me because I feel like in the US at least, like stealing a stop sign or like a road sign or roadwork sign, it's funny. You don't get punished for it.
Yeah, that's what.
And that's why they did it.
Yeah, apparently they do it here, so they thought it'd be okay.
Yeah, all the time. Because like my understanding is that the people who did it, like it's like common for their frat, like the guy who's in a frat, like oh they have them in the basement. That's stupid stuff we do in America. So like I understand that, but like in Italy, obviously like they don't understand any of that, like that culture aspect of like dumb American, like what we do here. Yeah.
Is that you got in trouble and you had nothing to do with it? Like you weren't even aware that
I
it was
know.
happening.
Police
And to this
officer.
day,
Noah?
I never heard anything from the police, so I don't know if they still have my passport. Like, I mean, I have my own passport, but they have pictures and copies
You're
of it.
definitely in the
And like,
town jails this
I
Noah
definitely
Anthony.
am like in the data system.
Do you have any stories, Paige?
I don't have any as interesting as that. Just like, okay, our last week we had a prom at my school, which was like their first prom ever because a lot of the people that were there were like 2020 or 2021 high school graduates, so they didn't have a prom. So we were only 150 students. It was like high school anyway. After our prom, we all went out in Perugia, but you have like bars, so we bar hop, and one of the bars has like a downstairs, basically like a frat, like a mini club. All of a sudden, a guy in my program, I'm like staying like right next to him, like near him. This other Italian man chokes him, pins him against the wall in the middle of the club, and
Oh my
then my
God.
classmate, like, we're all like, what is happening right now? And then my classmate obviously pushes him back, throws his drink on him. The other guy throws his drink on him, and they were about to start fighting. And when my other classmates had to step in, and we just were always so confused. He's like always in that club, that like bar club, and he's always like, if he thinks you pushed him or shoved him, which people get pushed and shoved, it's crowded, he will like try to be aggressive with you. That's not the only time that he's done stuff like that. So, but that was just crazy. He like choked him and pinned him against the wall.
What nightlife like?
They go out super late.
Yeah.
It's dead until like maybe 11, like 11, 12, and then peaks at like 3, 4. I would even say, not even like 2. Crazy.
Yeah. In Florence, all the Italians congregate behind like outside of one bar that's like super cheap. Like I'm talking like $3 for like every kind of drink. It's really cheap, which is no wonder why you're there. Anyways, the biggest one that I went to is called Space. It was on like Wednesdays and Saturdays were like the most pop-in nights because like Wednesday is the day before our last day of classes, and then we'd go on traveling the next day, like Friday, to like 3 or 4. But at 4, older men came into the clubs, like the Italian guys. So then everyone started like to leave at that point. But yeah. It's very fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's so much fun.
It was like sleep-wise. Like if you're staying out like 4 a.m.
Yeah, no.
You do not get any.
Not really.
Wow.
There's so many people that have either come in like really hungover, maybe still drunk, or just like so tired.
Yeah.
Like for my school, since it was smaller, we did a lot of like group activities at the school sometimes. And you're allowed to drink because the drinking is 18 on a Tuesday. We had a karaoke night. Each Italian class had to prepare an Italian song and then perform it up on the stage. It was so much fun, but everyone got so drunk, and we went out after. So everyone came to school the next day. Either they weren't in school or they were super drunk. The kid next to me, Italian, was literally so hungover. He had to leave class to like be sick multiple times.
Oh my God.
Everyone was down so bad the next day.
Oh.
What song did you sing?
I sang, and it just means it's I'm a Believer in Italian.
Oh, the Smash Mouth song.
Yeah, from Shrek. So we all dressed in green.
Going away from drinking and nightlife, because that's not all that Italy is. Since in Europe, country hopping is very easy. So can you talk about your experience with country hopping?
I went to Greece and I did island hopping in Greece, and Noah came with me.
I was there.
It was actually really good, and except for Mykonos was completely dead because it's actually really only foreigners go to that island. So like during the off season, nothing's open, no one's there, and then we had to take ferries. But getting through Italy, I went up and down Italy because that's what I chose to spend my money on. It was very easy. Trains, I like the train system. The train seats are nice, and it's cheap. The flights are cheap. Sometimes they've had deals to like London, and it was like $55 round trip to London.
I didn't know you traveled to one. Like, I mean, that's cool. I really thought you. Sorry, I really thought you traveled to more, but then you were traveling through Italy, which makes sense. Yeah. So for me, I traveled out of the country like 4 times, like 3 or 4 times. Yeah. So the first time I left was to Paris. I went to Paris with like 5 of my roommates. That was really fun. I had a great time. I did end up getting like food poisoning there, but it's fine. I would say like that was like worst plane ride because they don't, whatever reason, the plane systems aren't like organized. Like my bag was all the way on the other side of the plane. The same thing happened in Greece. That was a whole mess getting home. But
He
if
was
you want to hear
so
about that, let me know.
mad.
But it was so bad. And then I went to Belgium, and then I went to Greece. Yeah, I think that was it. But then I did a lot of like traveling in Italy as well, and a few weekends in Florence too. But traveling in Italy is so easy. The trains are really easy. I
Me
would say that
neither.
sometimes during the strikes or like after the strikes, there was slim pickings, so then it did get more expensive in that way. But most of the time, if you planned ahead of time, like at least a week or so, like $15, $20 kind of train, especially to Page, that was so easy. Like
What were the strikes?
they just
So-
have like strikes all the time.
The people that work like on the train tracks or like in the train companies, like Train Italia, they will strike like every so often, like once or twice a month. So like
Yeah.
one time I was in a town that was a 45-minute drive. Like we had driven there because one of my friends was dating an Italian guy, and he drove us.
Ooh.
He grew up in a town called Spoleto, which was 45 minutes like drive, but his brother needed the car back to Perugia. So we didn't have a car. So we're like, oh, we'll take the train. And there was a train strike that day. And we literally could not get home. And we were only 45 freaking minutes from Perugia and couldn't get back almost. And luckily his friend was there and could drive us home. But like, it was really close to like just not making it. Everyone got stranded that day.
Striking seems to be like an Italian thing. Do you think you're going to be striking at work?
Absolutely not. I need that money. No.
But one thing about it is they schedule strikes ahead of time.
They do. They're polite
Do you
about
have-
it. Not like the French. But
What'd the French do to you?
they're striking all the
They
time.
just
with
strike
no
on the
warning.
whim. Yeah. Yeah.
At least the Italians give you the heads up.
And they tell you
Any,
which trains you can use too when they're still striking.
Oh, it's so nice of them.
I know.
Yeah.
Are there any habits that you've like continued and brought back from Italy?
Okay, so Italy, they use something called a bialetti or like a mocha pot, and I have been looking for that coming back because you like put it on the stove and like you put water in the bottom and the coffee in the top, and then you put it on the stove and boil the water so that when you pour it out, it like takes the coffee and like filters it, and it makes you like a little espresso. I'm trying to get one of those to bring back because I really want that.
Oh, that's so cool. How about you, Noah?
I don't think I brought any like habits back. I would say my drinking habits, but I haven't really done that yet. But I am
I'm not
21
drinking.
now, so I could. But
That's true.
honestly, I would say like I'm still in my like saying ciao, scusi, scusa like kind of era. Like because like so many times you would just say ciao or like excuse me, excuse, like that kind of those like little simple words. Like I don't know Italian by any means. I'll like
All the time.
you'll catch me saying it like an autopilot, like to random people, and they're like, "What?" Like at work, I've a few times at Dunkin'. So I actually think the word's so much nicer than saying like hello. I like ciao.
Went to Moe's, and that's because a lot of people that work at Moe's also
Not
speak
Moe's.
Spanish. He would ask me I want something, I'd be like, oh, see, and he was like, just speak Spanish.
Oh my god.
Because I was like speaking Italian, it's just the same words in Italian, and then when I got up to the guy to pay, I was like, oh, grazie, and I was like, what is wrong with me?
It's so funny.
Okay.
But do you have any final words to say about Italy? Any final stories, thoughts?
Italy, I love you. I
would
miss
just-
you.
Yes, we love
I won't
Italy.
be back anytime soon.
I would say if you were thinking of study abroad, just do it. Your money comes back, but the people that you meet there are honestly the best and like the most amazing people.
They're gonna be the best
that
people you meet your
honestly,
entire life. Except
I do
for
see that
Emily.
I'll keep seeing them. Yeah.
You bond with those people. You see them at the lowest, and you see them at their highest. So,
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on the show, guys. This was
Thank
such a
you.
pleasure.
thanks for having us.
Welcome to On Rotation, where I'm helping you program the ultimate soundtrack to elevate your workout.
Want to know how to be her? Well, I can't help you with that, but I can help you feel like you are her. And that is by listening to Her by hot girl Megan Thee Stallion. The song is about not caring what other people think and feeling confident. Dance or strut to this song and you'll immediately feel like you're that girl. You may know Megan from her hits Girls in the Hood, Savage Remix with Beyonce, or Bongos with Cardi B. You also may know her from hearing people say someone has those Megan knees, which refers to Megan's impressive knee flexibility when she dances and shakes her booty on stage. She was recently in the news for a loving fan throwing rose petals at her during a recent stop on her Hot Girl Summer Tour. This girl has quite the following and deservedly so. She is the blueprint for being a baddie. The artist shows off her workouts on her social media pages, is a driven entrepreneur, and her songs preach self-confidence. The song Her may have come out in May 2022, so if you want to check out her new songs, she came out with a new single recently called Boa.
Words are hard sometimes, so let me make them harder by teaching you a really niche word to keep in your back pocket. Brain gains.
This week's word is baboonery, which means foolishness, stupidity, and nonsense. When I saw this word, I thought it sounded very old-timey English. To my chagrin, it is from the Middle English period, being first used around 1400. I will use this word in a sentence now. His attempt to organize the office party turned into a spectacle of baboonery, with a sudden shortage of lemonade, a birthday candle-induced fire, and missing balloons. Baboonery.
Prepare to pull up to events and get in on the fun.
Every Friday and Saturday night from 5 to 9 p.m., it is date night at the Met. That is the Metropolitan Museum of Art, located on 5th Avenue in New York City. You can go with a friend, partner, or yourself and take in the art. All events are free with museum admission, which is always pay what you wish for New York State residents and New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut students with a valid ID. This weekend, there is live music by the house band Ethel. And if you're feeling famished, enjoy drink specials at the American Wing Cafe and the Patrie Court Cafe. Don't know what to do this weekend? Go to date night at the Met.
Elevate is where I use my platform to shine my running headlamp on companies and nonprofits that are doing good.
What is a band that has a mission to promote their art and kindness? Recycled Percussion. This band has performed more than 7,000 shows worldwide and appeared on 40 popular TV shows such as the Grammys, the Super Bowl, America's Got Talent, China's Got Talent, Kris Jenner, MTV Reality Awards, Comedy Central's The Gong Show, broken 6 world records, and performed more corporate shows than any band in North America. Does that not impress you enough? Well, in 2017, they developed a television show on ABC called Chaos and Kindness, which has won 15 Emmy Awards. Chaos and Kindness has since developed a successful retail and lifestyle brand which promotes kindness, positivity, and mental health awareness. Chaos and Kindness sells branded apparel, accessories, and other items. According to the brand's website, the goal is inspiring people to be kind and live life to its fullest in this often chaotic world. You can visit their brick-and-mortar store at the Cake Theater in Laconia, New Hampshire. CAKE is an acronym for the Chaos and Kindness Experience. According to a Facebook post published by Recycled Percussion, it is one epic location that brings everyone together that exudes creativity and becomes a must-experience place. If you're unable to check out Recycled Percussion in person, you can support them by making an online purchase at chaosandkindness.store. I visited their store when they had a location in Keene, and it's so vibrant and lively. Just the place is just alive. They have kindness rocks. The merchandise is really great material, high quality, and the staff is very fun and friendly. It's just a fun environment. Another way to support this band is by checking out their social media accounts, where you can partake in their elaborate and fun scavenger hunts for a chance to win cash prizes. My mom and Aunt Sharon get really into it. I've seen them discuss the puzzles over the phone for hours. It's a great way to stay in touch when you don't live close by. You can also follow along with the band as they share people's stories and change lives. In need of a pick-me-up and a feel-good social media feed, give them a follow.
Grab your forks, chalk up those napkins, and get ready to feast like a champion. This is Pushing Plates, where every dish is a rep and every bite is a victory lap.
The place to be is the place to be. This aesthetically pleasing and Instagrammable brunch spot is famous for its egg chairs, bottomless mimosas, and drag brunch events. I was introduced to the place to be the summer before freshman year of college. My freshman year roommate and I met up there to get to know each other better. The place to be did not disappoint. As an avocado toast fiend, their toast was thick, toasted golden brown, and it had a great avocado to bread ratio. Other menu items include burgers, lattes, eggs in so many different forms, sangria, skillets, French toast, and more delectable options. If you're of age, prepare for your cocktail to be garnished with their signature rubber ducky. If you want a nice bev and rubber ducky without the alcohol, may I suggest their milkshakes. No matter what you order, your phone will want to eat before you. That is a Lift You Up podcast guarantee. They have locations in Hartford, New Haven, West Hartford, and Springfield. You and your Instagram feed won't regret it.
Thank you for listening to the Lift You Up podcast. Hope this episode gave you a runner's high to power you through the rest of your day. Peace out, soulmates.